back in the conference room, he was reading over the truck. Food truck agenda thing. And I saw Turner's truck out front. What about farmers in the hospital amphitheaters? These things don't. I bet you're very close friends with Beth Wins last week.
I got the news about Heidi. I don't know if it was COVID or not. But that was good yesterday. Heidi.
It was done. She went into the hospital. She checked herself out after staying there for 2 days. If she would get over that issue, she might survive.
Do that. What was the purpose of that? What were you going to do for yourself at home at the hospital? You don't have this stuff. So how are you?
Negative. But she ended up back in.
It's warm down there. I'm still coughing.
Yes, how are you?
That's crazy. Turner.
It's good. They think Main Street's covered. The city has control over the parking. We would have to get permission for that.
You get over those parts there?
So just say somebody was having a special order and they wanted a food truck.
Yeah.
The city can grant permission.
Okay. They just have to come to us.
Right, we have to go to the mayor, his stuff.
Then I'm home.
All right, I've got 5 o'clock, so I'll call this work session of Enterprise City Council to order. Let the record show that all council members are present. So we got a fairly busy work session here, so we'll roll right into our agenda. First item of business is a Parks and Recreation project update from Mr. Billy Powell.
Appreciate y'all letting me come up here and talk to y'all. I want to give y'all a few updates on our plans that we have implemented or that we're working on. One, I want to mention about the disc golf course. I mean, I know that probably some of y'all has already heard that, we've been working on it. I hadn't really officially come in front of you all about the plan on putting in a disc golf at Johnny Anderson Family Park. But it's in process right now. You probably saw that the Rotary Club last Tuesday donated $8,000 to help go towards that project itself. And so I was very fortunate, as always, Rotary Club assists us in many, many, many projects up there in the park, and we're blessed to have them as a great partnership for us as well. But again, just a reminder about this golf course. Disc golf is, of course, it's a game played based on golf, but you use a disc or frisbee to play the game, and your goal is to throw to a basket, which is about anywhere from 200 to 500 feet from the starting point, and the less amount of throws, the better you are, is like you would as disc golf. So we're planning on laying it out outside around the park area, such as going on the backside of the park, around behind Griffin Field, behind Duracast, going up and around Dawson Park, up there around behind the dog park. It's just hopefully we're trying to get where it's playable, but away from everybody else that are trying to go out there and exercise and enjoy the park as well. But it is a fast-growing sport. It's a fun sport. It can be played by anyone, from the young, from the old. There's no cost to go out there and play the sport, except you have to buy your own equipment to be able to do that. And unless we host those tournaments, there's tournament opportunities that we can bring people into the city to play the course, which in return that helps put, maybe heads in beds and people going out to eat, and just a good revenue source that we can bring people back into our community. We are doing majority of the work, if not all the work, in-house. So all we're having to do is just buy some equipment. We've already purchased the baskets to go out there, waiting on them to be shipped in. And, so we are working with some locals, disc golf players that are really excited about the opportunity to build a disc golf course. So I just want to let y'all know exactly what we're doing. If y'all have any questions or concerns or anything, I'll be glad to answer that. But it's going to be something great. And yes, if once we are able to go ahead and work on the other side of town, with PV Park and the college, with those partnership and with the partnership of trying to put in a multi-purpose facility. And yes, we would like to put a disc golf course over there as well. 2 disc golf course. I asked that question, can we have 2? And they said absolutely. And so I definitely want to make sure I don't want to ruin that plan, because that's a great opportunity for the college students to be able to play, and it just gives us more. Where people might come in half a day, play at one course, and then they take a break and then go play the other one on the other half a day. So there's many benefits for us to be able to do that. So just want to kind of show you some samples here. This is the baskets that I'm talking about. It has like chain. It's above ground, and this is what their goal is, to throw the disc in the basket's least amount of throws. Part of the course, we will have signs similar to like this at each hole, like you would at a golf course. If you're playing golf, you go up to it and it has you a demonstration on where the hole is laid out and stuff like that. So that's something that we will have at each hole as well. And then this is, they call tees. This little platform, concrete platform, slab platform that we can put out in different areas where they can throw from, and that's like the starting point to play the game, of course, disc golf. So I just wanted to bring y'all up to speed with it. We hopefully that we can complete this in late October or November. My guys, will be doing most of the work, and we're excited about it. And I hope that it's going to bring some great excitement to the city of disc golf. It's, again, as I mentioned, it's a popular sport, and it's fast growing, and we're excited and the great opportunities that this can bring for us as well. So, okay, the other thing that I'd like to mention to you all, as we are progressing to try to build a new recreation center, we need to make plans on us to actually try to move out of the current recreation center, to start gradually shutting it down to get ready for the new build. We've had some plans and discussions potentially to move out at the end of September, the last week of September of this year, and to move our offices up at the Civic Center. We are looking at moving in on the north wing of the Civic Center. The north wing is where we have the meeting rooms, where Barry's office is currently located. We will take up the office space there. And then also meeting room 3, we will need to convert that into like 3 office spaces. Birgit's office, we will have her move over back into the senior citizen portion of it, where she can still conduct her business, and she's part of the senior citizen as well. And so that we can keep our bunch together and keep her together, it just makes sense for us to do this. What I'm just making sure that y'all are aware of, I have my notes here trying to locate them, but excuse me for a second. I know I'm missing something now, but anyway, it's a great opportunity for us to do this. We've already started adjusting our programs, current programs that we've been hosting at the Recreation Center. 2 of the programs already is being going over to the farmers market. We have the senior aerobics on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, and the Weight Watchers on Wednesday morning. They will utilize the farmers market. We moved them over during summer due to summer camp, and we felt like we can go ahead. They loved it over there. We'll go ahead and leave them over there. It's worked out for us and for the farmers market. The availability is good. And then, as far as rentals goes, we are slowing down the rentals. We're not taking on any more rentals after September. Matter of fact, after August. And what rentals we had in September, we're going to honor them and make sure that they are usable for the recreation center. Another reason why I want to do this time, because I know it's coming in the near future. We're going to have to make this decision. We're going to have to make this move. But the reason we need to do it is this time because we can manage it a little bit better on the move this time in the fall and part of the winter than we could in the spring and summer. And so it makes sense for us to let's work on it and let's go ahead and do it now. The facility is minimal use as far as what we can offer. We've already made adjustment of what programs they can go where. And so it made sense to us and for us to do this and for us to move forward as a city of progress. And that's what we're working on, trying to build a new recreation center and facilities for this community. And for us to do that, we need to go ahead and make this move. So I'd love to answer any questions, any concerns you might have, but I just want to make sure y'all are aware. The maintenance facilities, thank you, Mr. Goolsby, is that we will locate them over at the maintenance building over on Mills Avenue. All our maintenance workers, we will move whatever equipment we'll over there to that area. They will report that's where they'll clock in and clock out. And so, and 2, when we take everything we need over there that they use daily or monthly, whatever they use, that's what's going to go. That's where we're going to take and utilize that facility as well. We're going to team up with, the engineering department, public works, and utilize some of their facilities for maintenance. I'm working with Barry and Shannon and Stacy and Buddy and all them for us to accommodate, and I think it's going to work out well for us.
Any other questions? Any concerns about this?
Great being proactive on it.
Yep. Yeah. Obviously, I think we need to lean on our staff to pull the trigger as far as when the time is best. Sounds like y'all follow that through. So,
and also to let you know, once we go through, and it'll probably take us about 3 months, maybe first of the year. I think it makes sense for us to do some type. I say decommission ceremony. I think it'd be best for us to do something because that facility has served this city for many, many years. It served the youth, it served the adults, it served just everyone. And you just can't imagine the different type of programs and activities that have been involved with that community, that recreation center. And I think it'd be wise for us to try to put something together, to appreciate what the facility has done for the city of Enterprise.
when was that facility built?
Well, that's a good question. We've been working with the paper and trying to find out, but I know it was dedicated to the youth by the citizens of Enterprise in 1958. But
So sometime before that.
But sometime before that, it was built, and that's a research that we're going to make and do and find out exactly when it was built, all the different purposes of that facility, and I think that should be part of the decommission ceremony, is to recognize the facility itself. But the facility needs, we need to move forward as a city of progress, and I think the opportunity is great, and I think y'all are being progressive with this, and I appreciate that. The community's going to appreciate it, and it's going to be something great for the city. But it is time.
Yeah. Good. Anything else on that? Is that all you had, Billy?
That's it, unless y'all feel like I need to have some type of formal permission in the council. It's not on the agenda, but I think as long as
that
we're
sounds
on,
like
I
just
think
some
we're-
staff moves, right? Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Billy. All right, we've got a beekeeping update from Mr. Tullos and Stacy Hayes.
Evening, council. One of the reasons that put this on, I know we're trying to move forward with this. It's a lot more complex as we continue to research this beekeeping ordinance. I know Mr. Woodham's been extremely patient and very forthcoming. I want to point out a couple of things that the staff and our legal counsel in review of this, just in terms of the complex nature of it. We think over the next 3 weeks we can still get you something first week of December for introduction.
September, you mean?
September, I'm sorry, for you to consider. But as we've gone into this, we've all realized that we're not experts on bees, and Mr. Woodham is, and we think that he's extremely transparent with what he's trying to do. But he's an advocate. And so, it would be prudent for us to find some information from someone that can represent the best interest of the city as a whole, to think through any issues that may be there. Call it devil's advocate, if you will, but somebody that can give us some insight on some pitfalls that we may find out there. Additionally, as we talk about, public good, with that, Mr. Woodham, again, has been very gracious to work with us, and we will continue to do that. But as we start getting into neighborhoods or residences, we are concerned a little bit about people with allergies or particularly kids, how we keep them a safe distance and how we measure that, going along with our Board of Adjustments and certain policies that. So we found in talking to Stacy that this may be something that perhaps the Board of Adjustments or the Planning Commission may need to make a recommendation to the council to act on. Is that correct, Rainer?
Yeah, there's a chance if it's changing a use within a zoning district, that we need to originate the ordinance in the planning commission. So when we do this, we want to do it right, so we don't want to take any chances. That's probably the best.
So I'll let Stacy kind of talk about what she's found and what you'll see in the ordinance that you have before you. I think this would be a good template as a starting point for you to deliberate on over the next 3 weeks, ask questions, send information back, and the staff's going to do the same thing, so that we can get you a quality product in September.
Thank you. So Rainer is correct. Anytime you change a use in the ordinance, just like rezone or anybody that wants to annex their property in, it comes as a recommendation from the Planning Commission. One of the things that I talked to Jonathan and Rainer about was having it as a conditional use that would go through the Board of Adjustment approval. And sorry, I'm still a little stuffy. So, but anyway, it would go through the Board of Adjustment approval. So basically that would legally notify all adjacent property owners. So if any of you were a neighbor to this, you would get proper notification, and then it would also go into general circulation newspaper, which I believe is a good idea, and I think Mr. Woodham is in agreement as well. One of the other things that Mr. Woodham mentioned in his comments was some type of signage. And normally I'm not for signage in residential areas because I just feel as though it takes away from the aesthetics. But I'm sure you guys are all familiar with beware of dog signs and so forth and so on. So I'm not opposed, and that's something I want y'all to think about too, is just having some type of a small 3x3 sign that can be posted either in their landscaping bed or maybe on a fence close to where, the hives would be located, and just have some verbiage that they're there. And one of the other things that we would like for y'all to look at too is the distance, because that's really important. We talked about, in an R100 zone, you could have one house here and both lots on both sides empty. And sometimes you have people that buy 3 lots and they put their house in the middle lot. Well, what if they decide to sell one of those lots? Would these people have to remove their bees? How would that go? So those are some things to think about. And, just so you guys know, out of the whole state of Alabama, there's only 6 municipalities that have actually addressed beekeeping within their jurisdiction. 4 of them have ordinances and 2 completely restricted it within their jurisdiction. So, we want to move forward with what y'all want to move forward with. We just want to make sure, that we do it right and the process is right. And like Jonathan mentioned, none of us are experts in bees. And, we've been leaning on Mr. Woodham, and he's been extremely helpful. So those are just some of the points that I wanted to hit on if y'all have any questions.
Would an outside source be maybe somebody from the high school, the FFA, agriculture teacher, one of those instructors to offer a different opinion?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Wood.
My suggestion would be to consider one of the Alabama State beekeeper inspectors who lives in Dothan, Alabama. His name is Philip Carter, and Randy Heyman, his boss, lives in Dothan also. The second source would be Auburn University. They have a bee lab, and they do research with USDA, and they would be completely separated from us. And certainly the inspectors they would be the ones coming to inspect if there was a problem. And they get to come inspect regardless, because every hive has to be registered with the state, and they can just show up and say, we'd like to look at your hive. So that's 2 sources. I'm not sure the FFA would be a good source.
Yeah, I didn't know if somebody that was just different, wasn't an advocate for it, just might have opinion. That would be a good one.
Okay.
Now, the 4 that have it, have we been in contact with them at all to say, hey, how's it been? What were the hazards, or what were the problems you had? Or, hey, is it going great?
Well, there's been some phone calls, but I have not heard anything back.
Okay.
And I will tell you from all of my research, Muscle Shoals, I would really like to talk to Muscle Shoals. I don't know if you're familiar with their ordinance, but and I don't know what it is about Muscle Shoals, but they have a great bee ordinance.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to reach out to them and find out, like, do you guys how do you keep track of these? How many do you have? What is, tell me your processes. So
The pros and cons, how
Right.
they handle it.
Right.
That'd be great. Okay.
And that's why we're just asking for a little bit more time. So,
Oh, sure.
It's nothing that we rush into and have to come back and address.
Mm. No, we need to do it right.
Okay, everybody comfortable with moving forward as suggested?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Mr. Woodham, for your patience and your continued interest in seeing this through. All right, we'll move forward with agenda review. Everybody wants to look at their agenda and their regular meeting packets. So we've got all of our stuff, pretty standard consent agenda. Any consent agenda items anybody wants to discuss, just contract billings and travel request. Stop me if I skip something I want to discuss. So we've got a few liquor license introductions. Then we've got we're gonna review and consider a bid recommendation from the police chief that he brought to us last month. Any surprises there, Chief Moore? Okay. Then new business, as you see, we're just introducing some recommendations. The Plan Commission will lay those over. So that's 1, 2, 3 items. Then a rezone from Athletic Edge, those will be laid over. Then we will introduce the new business license code. So I will encourage y'all to continue to review that. We'll get that introduced. Beverly, Jonathan, we'd make some provisions to get that distributed if it hadn't already been. The business license code.
Correct. Once you consider it tonight, we'll consider it public record and distribute it to the Chamber of Commerce and other agencies, press, whoever you'd like us to.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And that'll give us 3 weeks to receive feedback. I encourage y'all to get feedback from your constituents and from your non-constituents. Just anybody who you might consider to be a stakeholder in that. So then food truck regulations. So I did want to spend a couple minutes talking about that because there was a little bit of back and forth with Greg, myself, Jonathan, and Rayner this afternoon on that. So you should all have a clean copy of the ordinance that's being introduced tonight, right, Jonathan? Yeah. So this is what's being introduced. She was in the loop on the changes that you made. So can you update us on just some of the recommendations Rayner made real quick? And then we can briefly discuss it. I'll give Greg the opportunity to give his feedback.
I mean, probably the most significant change was making sure that we required insurance for food truck owners, particularly as it pertains to being on city property.
Yep.
Or public right of way. Same thing we require for people that utilize, our facilities. And those amounts are in there. I think $1 million for bodily harm and $100,000 per incident. Rayner, is that for property damage on that? And that protects the taxpayers' investment. If they have, flammable materials, cause a fire, grease spill, whatever it is, hurt somebody on that. And we, additionally, there's some language in there about whether or not this should extend out to police jurisdiction to require a license. And I think the feeling was, if we require it on brick and mortar in the PJ, we should require it for our food truck vendors and be equitable in how we approach that. It was the feeling that I got. I think those are really the two biggest ones that were out there.
Yeah.
Other than that, they still have to go through the health department, to get, an inspection. They still have to go through our business license procedure to get a business license. And, any other respective state agency, if they want to get an alcohol permit, I don't know if they could, but it's not on us. That's through the ABC board, and that'd be up to them to regulate.
Okay. Greg, this is your baby, so tell us about it.
So, as you all know, we've gone through a lot of different versions to come to this, and my goal was to try to simplify it down as much as we possibly could. And as Jonathan just said, the basic requirements is they have to have a health permit. They can't even get the business license without having a health permit. The health department is going to be responsible for making sure that we're not providing food out there to someone that's going to make them sick. There's requirements in there that they keep the areas clean, make sure that there's no trash and all of those kind of things, that they take proper care to get fresh water and dispose of the waste and refuse and all those kind of things in here is all through this ordinance. They're not allowed to make loud noises, not allowed to have loudspeakers, not allowed to have loud generators over 65 decibels. They're not allowed to solicit people in their vehicles. They can't run down the street and chase people down to get them to come buy their food. A lot of good things here that keep things in the city looking good and looking nice, but yet allow people to have a food truck. And then it even allows the opportunity for Parks and Rec to permit people to work food trucks in the city parks, as long as it doesn't interfere with concessions and events going on in the park. And they Parks and Rec can charge a fee for that. up to $150 a year, whether they do it on a daily basis, quarterly basis, or an annual basis. They can get a permit to operate in the park. And then it does not allow people to, if they're using that permit in the park, to advertise that they are set up in the park. So that's only for what's going on in the park. They can't get on social media. They can't advertise in the newspaper, can't put signs out to get crowds of people to come to the park where they're set up. They're not allowed to set up seating and things around the booth. They can't burn wood or charcoal or produce smoke when the public right of way. And as has been stated, we did add the requirement for insurance in there. I think it gives a good clean ordinance that allows freedom of people to be able to operate a food truck, but yet still requires things to look nice in the city, keep safety, and there's penalties in here if they break the rules for a fine of $150 fine, and of course we could always have reason to revoke the business license if necessary.
Any questions? Again, this will be introduced tonight, laid over for 3 weeks, so we'll have the same review period for this. Any concerns with that? All right. So appreciate it, Greg, Jonathan, Rayner, everybody else who participated in that. Appreciate y'all's work on that. So moving forward with our other agenda items. We've got a sale of property, Turner Orthodontics property. So obviously we're in the loop on this. This was discussed in executive session up until now, but we negotiated the sale of a small parcel of property on Lester Drive to Turner Orthodontics. Appointment of city clerk, which is we're taking the interim tag off of Beverly. Thank you, Beverly. Then, of course, as we discussed the other night, appointing the fire chief to Christopher Davis. And it's my understanding that we're not doing the swearing in tonight, right? We're doing that in a few weeks to allow Chief Davis to have some family attend. So we'll make it, but we'll still go ahead and pass that resolution tonight. Lake Subdivision, introduce a resolution to accept the maintenance of the streets. Stacy, no issues there. Introduce ABC license request. Again, that'll be laid over. Then we will accept the grant funds for the fire department. So this Chief Davis had told us about this previously. Any updates on that, Chief Davis? Anything we need to know about it? So you need our permission to do the 10% match.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And this same grant we got the tanks with last year.
Fiscal year 19. This is the 20, and this one basically works off of that grant as the compressor for the SCBA's that we got in 19.
So it fills those tanks.
Yes.
All right. Then Jonathan, you want to tell us about these SOPs for the Civic Center? Give us a brief update on that.
So I think, Beverly, are the copies in the packet. So you have copies of the standard operating procedures, which were approved under the last administration for the Civic Center and the Farmers Market. Essentially, it's a one-line addition to it. Instead of, I think the language said something to the effect of the city reserves the right to amend these procedures at any time. The change allows the mayor or the council to amend, suspend, or otherwise, modify the policies and procedures on a case-by-case basis. And why this is important, from my estimation, is the mayor's office, even in the short time that I've been with the city, gets requests frequently, and under the current guidelines, people are required to submit in writing something to the council on a request to waive a fee or do something for a nonprofit, as an example. Sometimes we don't have time to react A good example of that recently was when Po Folks, shut down. There were several civic organizations that utilized that, needed a place to meet like the next week. And so there wasn't a council meeting in between when that happened. And so those kind of things highlighted the issue of where we may have an administrative fix to that if the council was willing to consider that.
Does anybody have any concerns or questions about that? Yeah. Okay. All right, moving on to the request for permission to purchase equipment. Chief Moore, you're requesting this drone package that you distributed this via email, so everybody should have gotten this. Any further comments on that? Does anybody have any questions of Chief Moore on the drone package? I felt he did a pretty good job of explaining. So, all right. Then we'll move into mayor report and council comments. Does anybody have anything that they want added to the agenda? All right. Before we do have some security issues to discuss in executive session. Let me see. Make sure there's not something I'm missing. So yeah, we've got some real estate issues to be updated on and some security issues to be updated on in executive session. Before we go into executive session, is there anything anybody wants to discuss in work session? I'll give you a couple minutes. All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for security and real estate matters. So moved. We have a motion and a second. Expect this will last approximately 20 to 25 minutes, and we will not have any further discussion in work session. We will reconvene in our regular council meeting at 6 o'clock. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Yeah.
Oh, we got every other. Let's see, Father Jack from St. John's. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got 6 o'clock. I will now call this August 17th, 2021 meeting of the Enterprise City Council to order. Let the record show that all 5 members of the council are present. If you would please stand with me for the opening prayer and pledge of allegiance. We have Father Zach from St. John's Catholic Church.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, O good and gracious God, you are good and the source of all that is good, and so we thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you continue to bestow your abundant blessings upon us. Strengthen us in faith and hope and love. Help us to come to know you and love you and serve you more and more all the days of our life. Send your Holy Spirit upon us to lead us and guide us in all things, and to direct us always according to your holy will. Grant us especially the grace to care for all your people, to work tirelessly for the common good, and to care especially for your poor and those in most need. Again, we thank you for all your many blessings, and we ask from you all that we need through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, Council, you should have in your packets a copy of the agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the agenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we'll now consider the consent agenda. All matters listed within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the council for review, are considered to be routine, and will be enacted by one motion of the City Council with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired on an item, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request of a member of the City Council. I will now call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mayor, I believe you've got a little ceremony recognizing the 7U All-Star Baseball team.
Mr. Mayor and Council, it's always a pleasure to be here before you. Usually when I show up, it means we won something. So I'm back again, and we have won something. So tonight we have our 7U Rookie All-Star team. They competed in the district championship and became district champions. Then they went to Oxford, Alabama to the Rookie State Championship and defeated our neighbors Troy to win the state championship. And then Coach Bryant came to me and said, "Hey, do you know they got a World Series?" And I said, "For rookie?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Where's that at?" He said, "Texarkana." I said, "Texas?" He said, "Arkansas." So it's right on the border there in Texas and Arkansas. So Team Enterprise became Team Alabama. And it is hot in Enterprise, but let me tell you, it is hot in Texarkana. These boys and coaches showed a mental toughness. They battled temperatures nearing 100, heat indexes over 100, but they went to the semifinals, defeated a tough team from Louisiana, and then in the finals, they faced Texas, and they say everything's bigger and better in Texas. Well, I'm here to tell you that 7U baseball is bigger and better in Enterprise, Alabama. I was tough all through the tournament, never lost a game. And they are our 2021 first ever Dixie Youth World Series champions. So tonight we're here Woodson Baldwin. Red Portman. Liam Allen. Brant Harper. Cooper Thomas. Carson Bryant. Aiden Owens. Landon Brunson. Cade O'Brien. Bolton Salter. Assistant coach Matt Thomas. Assistant coach Brad Porteous. Assistant coach Blake Allen. And head coach Stephen Bryant. And Mr. Mayor, at this time, I believe Coach Bryant has a presentation for you.
Mr. Mayor? On behalf of DCU 7U All-Stars, district champs, state champs, and the first ever World Series champs, we're giving you an autographed bat with all the coaches and kids on there for your keepsake.
Yeah, I'd like to see one of those rings. You see how big they are? Woo. Wow.
Yep, council, y'all will stand up. Come on. Come on. Hold it just a minute. Everybody be safe. Sunday. You be safe.
Hold up, number one. They tried to make us crimson and red. I said, y'all better stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to just say from the Enterprise City Council and City of Enterprise, and we are really elated to have these young men to go and to play against teams as far as competition is concerned, and to win what we call the World Series. That's one thing about it is that this is the city of progress. And we're going to continue doing what we're doing. We're going to praise those young men and let's encourage them to continue doing what they're doing. Because that's the future. These young men and these young women that we have out here playing in the field of sport. So again, parents, coaches, thank y'all for the job that you've done. And everything is excellent.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, thank you, Blake, Billy, Mayor. Always excited to see y'all show up. Give them a minute to get out of the room. All right. So now it's the time of the meeting for privilege of the floor. This allows any citizens that are or members of the public that are here 3 minutes to address the council on anything they wish to address us about. Is there anybody that wishes to address the council tonight? All right, I do not see anybody. We'll move on to staff reports. I think Chief Moore, you got something?
So, didn't expect to get a little emotional over this, but I think the public knows that we lost one of our best officers I think we've ever had. Michael Truckee served the city of Enterprise, the best of my recollection. Information, anything that I've found at least since 1993, if not before that. Estimated time that he has served the city was close to 8,000 hours. Dedicated free service to the city of Enterprise. I did some quick math just out of curiosity. At today's rate, that would have been over $200,000. Anytime that we needed something, we called Michael Truckee. He interpreted for us. He did traffic control for us. He did anything and everything that's ever been requested from us with a big, big smile on his face. It's hit my department hard. I think it's hit the city hard. However, tomorrow we have the funeral for him. It's been requested and been granted that we're going to give him a escort around the city. The fire department, it started with the police department. Of course, the fire department said, hey, he's helped us out a whole bunch. We want to do the same. I was contacted by the rescue squad today, and they said, hey, he's helped us out a lot free of charge, and we want to do the same. So tomorrow between about 2:30 to 3 o'clock, we'll do an escort around the city. I've been asked to do this for numerous other people. I've always said that it's not a good thing to do it because of the traffic nightmare and everything else. So I think it needs to be someone special that we do this buddy else more honorable in the city of Enterprise that deserves a one last trip around the city that he has served faithfully, continuously, and without one penny going into his pocket, than Michael Truckee. So tomorrow that'll occur if when it does. There's other things that the mayor and I have talked about that he needs recognition for, and that'll be in due time. His wife is still hospitalized, and we're going to wait till she gets out to give everything else. So, but I just wanted to bring recognition to everything, what's going on tomorrow, and let everybody know how much he really, really meant to us and how important he is to us. So, anything else?
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you.
We have any other staff reports? All right, we'll move into old business. I will now call for a public hearing prior to consideration of requests from the Bridges at Tartan Pine LLC, doing business as the Bridges at Tartan Pine, for a special retail more than 30 days license located at 423 Tartan Way. At the close of the hearing, we'll call for the consideration of this request, but the hearing is now open. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak for or against this request of the Bridges at Tartan Pines LLC? It's an ABC license request. All right, seeing no one here to speak for or against, I will now close the hearing. I'll entertain a motion to approve the request.
Make a motion, we approve the request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, I will now call for a public hearing prior to consideration of request from the Carniceria LLC, doing business as Carniceria Special Meats and Grocery for retail beer off-premise only license and retail wine off-premise only license located at 5 North Point Parkway, Suite H. This hearing is now open to consider an ABC license request for Carniceria LLC. Is there anybody here to speak for or against? Seeing no one here to speak, I will now close the hearing and entertain a motion to approve this request.
I move that we approve the request.
Second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the request for an ABC license of Carniceria LLC. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, I will now introduce and call for consideration of a recommendation from Police Chief Michael Moore to award bid requisition number 2021-06 for the installation of equipment in 6 police vehicles to SMP Communications. The bid price per vehicle is $5,989.55, and total cost for the equipment installation is $35,937.30. Other bids received are as follows: Seminole Communications Incorporated, doing business as Sci-Fi or Sci-2-Way, for $6,470 per vehicle. Do I hear a motion to approve this request of the police chief?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving to new business. We've got several planning commission recommendations to introduce, and they introduce these, they will lay over until the next meeting, unless otherwise noted here. So I will introduce for the record, a recommendation from the Enterprise Planning Commission to approve the following requests for the rezone of property. A request by Benchmark Land Services on behalf of Robert Bishop for the rezone of 21.566 acres of land from R75A Residential District and B3 Highway Commercial District to TH1 Townhouse District located at 0 Bowleville Circle. A request by Benchmark Land Services on behalf of Robert Bishop for the rezone of 4.612 acres of land from R75A Residential District and B3 Highway Commercial District to B3 Highway Commercial District located at 0 Bowleville Circle. a request of Benchmark Land Services on behalf of Athletic Edge LLC for the rezone of 789 acres of land from B3 Highway Commercial District to Institutional District located at 10 Maverick Way. We'll now introduce ordinance 081721 for the Bishop rezone TH1. Introduce ordinance 081721 providing for the rezone of 21.566 acres of land owned by Robert Bishop from R75A Residential District and B3 Highway Commercial District to TH1 Townhouse District located at 0 Bowlville Circle. Also call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for September 21st, 2021. All right, I'll now introduce ordinance 081721-A, the Bishop rezone B3. Introduce ordinance 081721-A providing for the rezone of 4.612 acres of land owned by Robert Bishop from R75A Residential District and B3 Highway Commercial District to B3 Highway Commercial District located at 0 Bowlville Circle. I will call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for September 21st, 2021. I'll now introduce ordinance 081721-B, providing for the rezone of 9.789 acres of land owned by Athletic Edge LLC from B3 Highway Commercial District to Institutional District located at 10 Maverick Way. I will call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for September 21st, 2021. I'll now introduce ordinance 0817-21C, providing for the implementation of a new business license code and schedule for the City of Enterprise as of January 1st, 2022 and thereafter. Council, as discussed in our work session prior, we're just introducing this tonight. We'll get this distributed to the press, Chamber of Commerce, all other interested stakeholders. I encourage you to discuss this with those stakeholders over the next 3 weeks to get input from them, and then we will have final consideration at our next council meeting, the first meeting in September. I will now introduce ordinance 0817-21-D, providing for the regulating food trucks in the City of Enterprise. Again, we're introducing this tonight. We're going to lay this over to the first meeting in September, which is 3 weeks from tonight. Same message to you as discussed earlier. We'll distribute this to all stakeholders, get all the feedback you can, and be prepared to discuss this at our next council meeting. All right, I will now introduce ordinance 0817-21-E, providing for the sale of property on Lester Drive containing 0.29 acres at a cost of $7,000. So before considering this, I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules so we can consider this immediately. It's something we've been discussing for many weeks now.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion concerning suspension of the rules? Everybody okay with that? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So the rules are now suspended. I will now entertain a motion for the immediate passage of ordinance 0817-21-E.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, I think we've discussed this several times, including the work session prior, but this $7,000 for the purchase of land on Lester Drive is a very fair and reasonable price. I believe we've done our due diligence as far as ascertaining that price. So is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I will now call for a recommendation of the mayor as to the appointment of city clerk and consider approval of recommendation as per resolution 0817-21. Mayor, do you have a recommendation for us?
Yes, I would like to recommend
All right. Council, you hear the recommendation of the mayor. I'll entertain a motion to adopt his recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, I think everyone will agree that this is it's past time we do this. So certainly has my support. So hearing no further discussion, I will call for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations, Beverly. All right. I will now introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 081721-A, providing for the appointment of Christopher Davis as Fire Chief. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All right, so just for the benefit of the public, it's been a fairly long, drawn-out process. We had the final interview last week, so I will now call for a vote. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Davis. I will now introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 081721-B, providing to accept for maintenance of the streets and other public easements improvements which are expressly shown on the final plat of the Lake Subdivision Phase 2 as public dedications, subject to the contingencies and matters as set out in the August 13, 2021 letter from Stacy Hayes to the council. So we've got the letter from Stacy. Stacy gave us the thumbs up in previous work sessions, so it's got support of staff. So I will now entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I will now introduce a request from the Simpson Group, LLC, DBA Pops Restaurant for a restaurant retail liquor license located at 1016 Rucker Boulevard. I will also call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for September 7th, 2021. There will be no action taken tonight. I will now introduce and call for the consideration of a request from Fire Chief Christopher Davis to accept assistance to firefighter grant funds in the amount of $47,272.73. This grant is a 90-10 match, with the city's portion being $4,727.27. Funds will be used to replace the department's cascade system. So as discussed in the work session, this is the chief asking for our approval to spend that 10% match and approve this grant. So I'll now entertain a motion to approve this request.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I will now introduce and call for consideration of standard operational procedures as related to the rental and use of the Enterprise Civic Center and Enterprise Farmers Market. So council, as we heard from our city administrator in the work session, is simply cleaning up some language to give the mayor and his staff flexibility to make some calls on the fly that instead of waiting for a council meeting. So I will entertain a motion to approve this request.
Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I will now introduce and call for consideration request from Police Chief Michael Moore to purchase the following unmanned vehicle, which is a drone package from Unmanned Vehicle Technologies. This is one Mavic Mini 2 Fly More combo with accessories, one Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced with accessories, and the required FAA license. The total cost of the purchase is $10,708, with $9,170.26 to be reimbursed by state ICAC funds. Funding for the city's portions of $1,537.74 is available within the department's FY 2021 budget. Council, do I hear a motion to approve this request?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mayor, you got a report?
Mr. President, we would like to also again express congratulations to our board, Billy and his staff and the coaches on the World Series. Also want to congratulate Beverly on being appointed city clerk, that's long overdue, I assume. And congratulations to Chris Davis as our new fire chief. We just want to remember now that school is in session, and usually when you see a ball roll out in the road, you can support behind it. So we need to kind of at the school zone to ride around. Let's be careful. Our first pep rally will be Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at the stadium. They're moving it on the new turf this time, so looking for everybody to turn. And our first football game will be Friday evening. So again, thank you all for coming, and do have a good evening.
Ms. Sonia?
Sure. I certainly share Mayor's congratulations to everyone tonight, and share our thoughts and prayers for family and loved ones of Officer Truckett, and just well as our other, we got a lot of citizens that are just ill in our community. So keep people in your thoughts as much as possible, and you all have a good evening.
Very emotional night. Had to be careful what I say. I choke up. The young man that was here was very impressive when we were saying the Pledge of Allegiance. To hear them. Thank y'all for being here.
Greg?
I'd also like to join everyone else in congratulating the World Series winners tonight, and congratulations to Beverly for your appointment to City Clerk, and congratulations to Christopher Davis, Fire Chief, and you all have a good night.
Scotty?
I'd like to say I'm going to really miss Truckee, because for the last 10 plus years, he's helped me in the staging area for the Christmas parade every year. He comes down there early when I'm down there, and he's there all day. And I'm going to miss that young man. We had some great conversations, and he tells some pretty good jokes, and I just love and miss him. Thank you to our under 7. I also heard that with the Pledge of Allegiance. It's great to hear that. Thank you, Parks and Rec, Beverly. Thank you. And Chief Davis, looking forward to working with you a lot more too. Thank you for coming to everybody in the audience. And as I always say every week, thank you to those online that are looking into their city government at home. And please be safe out there.
All right, yeah, so ditto what everybody had to say about the boys 7U. Certainly a great accomplishment. It's always fun when Blake and Billy show up. And on Officer Truckee, I did not know Truckee personally, but certainly knew who he was, and I know that was a great loss for our police department, for all of our first responders, and certainly for the city as a whole. And it should be a reminder also that there's a lot of suffering in our community right now, particularly. So please keep all those people in your prayers. Beverly, congratulations. Thank you for sticking with us through thick and thin. I know it hadn't always been fun, been ups and downs, and I know the mayor, Sonia and Eugene, and I have certainly been here through that. So thank you very much, and certainly well deserved on your appointment tonight. Chief Davis, ready to get to work. Congratulations, and I think I'd be remiss if I didn't remind the council of where we were back when we took office, and I really want to thank the mayor and his team for getting us to where we are today. I think we need to remember I think we had 5 or 6 vacancies. Tonight, we filled all those vacancies. We've been a huge accomplishment. We put a plan in place. It's taken a while, but we've intentionally marched down that plan. So we've got a lot of work to do, obviously, but I sure do appreciate the hard work that my colleagues on the council, and certainly the mayor and staff have put in. So there's some good days ahead for the city. So I will leave us with that. We are adjourned. I did. Yeah. I know.
Listen, I said he going down.